right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Left with nowhere to go.
I have to pick getting a room or food.
How a single mother is trying to keep her family together after a fire took everything else. Plus,
it's sad to see that the church is closing parishes all over the place where they used to be a very dynamic force.
closing doors as one of the holiest seasons of the year approaches. Why parishes around St. Louis gave their final Sunday masses today. But first,
hasn't felt like it much recently, but we're still in the middle of winter. In fact, the winter weather advisory in place for some of our area. What we should expect overnight and how much snow will fall in these areas through the day on Monday.
and we're starting off tonight in a weather alert. We'll take a live look downtown where you will see the calm before the storm. While everything's above freezing now, before the sun rises, we'll see some rain, and that'll switch to snow for some come morning. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. The warmer than average February is taking a turn as we head into the work week. We've got meteorologist Gary Frank here in the studio with our weather first forecast. So we're wondering, Gary, what's going to be waiting for us on the roads tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I think overall about 85% of us are going to be in pretty good shape, but it's something that with all the stuff going on this weekend between Mardi Gras and the game, I just want you to be prepared for a few spots that are involved in that winter weather advisory. Quiet outside right now, and it will be for the next several hours. As we look downtown, it is quiet and we're above freezing. I think that we're going to stay that way into the overnight hours. We're at 37 degrees, so it's chillier for sure, but we're going to start to see a little bit more rain and snow that starts to develop. And as I pause this, I'll take you to Springfield and this entire area. That is what's headed our way to some degree. However, the main track of this storm is actually more trending a little bit further south. That really impacts our rain and snow opportunities. And behind that, this is the entire system that's moving very slowly. You can see that many areas are involved in that winter weather advisory as I zoom in. That's Farmington, that's Rolla, Potosi, areas to the south. And I think the further south you go, the better opportunity you're going to have for any sort of snow overnight. As temperatures hold steady in the mid-30s, I don't think that we're going to see much of a change as we stay below freezing overnight. But still, there are some areas that I want to watch out as light rain and snow develops. The track is a bit further south, so I'm not quite as concerned about accumulating snow in the morning, but still could overcome some warm ground. We'll talk about that, the position of the storm, and for the rest of the week, temperatures returning above normal.
And you can catch your weather first forecast anytime on the 5 Plus app. You can download it for free on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV. Just search KSDK in the App Store. Tonight, a St. Louis family of 6 is homeless after a fire destroyed their Melvin Avenue home yesterday. It happened around 1 p.m. in North St. Louis. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski spoke with a mom who was in tears, just trying to help her family.
D'Amica Williams says she was at her home on Melvin Avenue Saturday afternoon just trying to get the lights back on. Followers on TikTok helped her get the money to pay her electricity bill.
Called Amber and I said, hey, something wrong with the lights. They instructed me to go downstairs, turn my circuit breaker on. I did that, came back upstairs, signaled my kids, everything is okay, come in. Next thing you know, we start smelling something and my house just got into flames. And all I could do is grab my keys and run out.
Then her next door neighbor says he called 911 right away.
I saw the black smoke coming out the door and going up under that divider and coming out the house. And it blew the windows out.
Williams says in a matter of minutes, she went from barely getting by to being homeless.
I have 5 kids and we just homeless. We don't have nowhere to go. Red Cross gave me some money, but that's not enough. It's not, I can't be picky, but it's not enough for us to keep getting a room. I have to pick getting a room or food.
Another neighbor says the family has already been going through a very rough time over the last few months.
I hate this, that she lost her mom, and now we got this tragedy here.
Williams says she lost her mom so quickly she wasn't able to switch the homeowner's insurance or get her affairs in order.
I couldn't even get nothing switched over, just like this is her car and I'm getting piles of tickets because I can't register the car. I can't do anything.
But right now, she's focused on her kids.
My kids don't have no clothes. I don't have no clothes. Clearly see what I have on. They don't have any shoes or anything. We don't have nothing.
Reporting in St. Louis, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
If you'd like to help the family, we do have information on clothing sizes and where you can donate on our website, KSDK.com. Just go to the As Seen on TV section and click on this story. We now know the name of a man who was killed in a North County car crash. It happened around 7 on Wednesday at New Halls Ferry Road in West Florissant. There, St. Louis County Police found 65-year-old Curly Brown. He had been struck by a car. He was rushed to the hospital but later died. Brown lived in St. Louis's Sherman Park neighborhood. The driver stayed at the scene and cooperated with investigators. Today was the final mass for some parishes across the St. Louis area. It was an emotional day for many as downsizing continues in the Archdiocese of St. Louis. The continued closure and merging of parishes through the Archdiocese All Things New restructuring plan comes as the holy season of Lent begins. Mercedes McKay visited a church that's holding on to hope even as the future is unknown.
We're an anchor in the community. People value the product we offer here at St. Roch, and that's why people to continue to support it even in uncertain times.
Just days before Ash Wednesday and the holiest season in the Catholic faith begins, some parishes across the St. Louis area heard their church bells ring for the final time.
I'm very disheartened that these parishes are closing and that they're having their last mass.
Fortunately, Mike Stevens and his parish aren't in that boat. Under the All Things New restructuring plan, St. Roch would merge into Christ the King Parish, but that's on pause for now as they wait to hear back from the Vatican.
The dicastery has issued some decisions on some appeals, but they haven't said anything about ours yet.
As Stevens and the rest of the congregation waits to see what happens, they're keeping the faith and continuing to serve their community. Children are still enrolling in their school, and attendance at their weekly mass has tripled.
We have a lot of new faces at church on Sunday, a lot of people I don't know, a lot of new families in the school that I don't know, and it's great to see that the parish and the school are continuing to evolve and grow in the community.
That growth and support showing in the numbers as these parishioners do everything they can to show the most holy they deserve to stay.
We went out and did a quick 2 or 3 week fundraising campaign just by phone. We raised $400,000.
While they prepare to celebrate Lent in their home sanctuary, the St. Roch congregation is hopeful in their future.
While we are in the appeal process, people have acted like we're going forward, because we know we have a great situation here and a great group of people in our parish and a great school, and people know that we're moving forward.
Mercedes McKay, 5 on Your Side.
5 on Your Side was asking to visit a parish that was hosting its final mass today, but the Archdiocese of St. Louis said they wanted to keep those services private. St. Roch is one of several parishes across the area still waiting a response from the Vatican. Coming up.
When you go through this, unless you go through it, you don't really understand.
A cancer survivor turns into a chauffeur of assistance. How he's now offering vital support to patients in need. Then.
But we'll have 200 people in here before the night's over with. 200 Chiefs fans yelling and screaming.
Super Bowl superfans in St. Louis. A look at some of the rowdy crowds during the big game.
This slow-moving system that's been responsible for very cold and rainy weather in the desert has finally worked its way toward our area, and that's what we're tracking overnight. Its track is very important for rain and snow. We'll highlight that and when you can expect snow in some areas tomorrow.
Making a Difference is sponsored by Midwest Bank Center.
For people battling cancer, the initial shock can be overwhelming, and then getting to those vital treatments can be challenging for some. But in tonight's Making a Difference report, we introduce you to one of dozens of volunteers who do their best to lighten the load.
When the road gets rough, David Neerman is willing to go the extra mile to smooth out the bumps. Neerman is a 63-year-old retired IBM and MEMC engineer who spent his career delving into the depths of discovery.
The science. I really love the science.
But now he's finding fulfillment in a different kind of journey.
We do it a lot because we're so grateful.
Whenever he's needed, David becomes a chauffeur of assistance, picking up people like Sherry Zambruski and driving them to doctor's appointments. It's all a part of the American Cancer Society's Road to Recovery program.
Road to Recovery is an amazing program that provides rides to cancer patients that otherwise wouldn't have one.
And that's where I'm at, the 5-year mark.
Yeah. Sherry is in treatment for bone cancer.
It's also metastasized a little bit into my spine. So it's getting a little scary.
And David's understanding runs deeper than mere empathy. He is a cancer survivor.
By the time I was diagnosed, I had a big lump. It turned out to be the primary tumor was the size of a cantaloupe.
He says fear, uncertainty, and an overwhelming sense of isolation comes with a cancer diagnosis. And he had the loving support of his daughter, Katie. But it's the memory of his lonely hospital roommate that stirred David's resolve to make a difference.
To go through all that and not have support, and right next to him I had this great support, really made an impression on me.
So as David drives Sherry to her appointments,
I had so many blood tests.
He's more than just a volunteer. He's an example of resilience.
When you go through this, unless you go through it, you don't really understand. So he started to share his experience, which was really kind. And then I felt very safe.
Did I send you a couple pictures of
You
the,
did.
of the
Oh, they're
grandkids?
so
I joke around, we're kind of like a two-person support group. We talk the whole time, so much so I've missed a turn once in a while because we're so engrossed in the conversation.
And while David's dedication exemplifies the heart of the cause,
All right, we're here.
There's still a need for more people like him.
In the St. Louis market last year, we gave over 1,000 rides.
Wow.
Now, I also would like to say that there were 500 rides we weren't able to give because we do still need drivers.
Is this okay?
Yep.
For some, it's not about the roads we travel, but about the hearts we touch along the way.
He's an amazing person. I mean, he just is fully centered when he's with you, and he loves the program. He's just an exceptional human being, really.
David Neerman.
But it's so enjoyable for me. It's...
A steadfast navigator through the fight against cancer.
Are you okay on getting out on this side? Okay.
Showing that kindness often paves the way to hope.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay.
To have someone like Dave around is just truly inspiring.
If you'd like to volunteer for the Road to Recovery program, we can link you to the website when you go to this story on our website. And a reminder, if you know someone making a difference for others, let me know by email at mbush@ksdk.com.
Born and raised. I mean, you live here in the Midwest, you're cheering for one team, and that's the Chiefs.
Yeah, St. Louis was packed and glued to the big screen tonight as Super Bowl 58 kicked off this afternoon. It's all over. The Chiefs win a nail-biter against the San Francisco 49ers in overtime. And you may have watched football's biggest night of the year at a friend's or at home, or you might have just watched for the commercials. But 5 on Your Side's Andy Crawl was at watch parties all across our area, talking to fans on both sides of the field.
Well, it is Christmas Day for Chiefs fans. That's right, it's Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm in Webster Groves right now, but arguably I'm in Chiefs country. In fact, these fans are so excited about, of course, none other than Patrick Mahomes. At just 28, he has gone to 4 Super Bowls. He's the youngest quarterback to ever do that.
We were all like, oh, I hope this is the future. We were happy to get there one time. And now, since in the last few years, this is our 4th Super Bowl in 5 years. He's won 2 MVPs. The Chiefs are at the pinnacle of the NFL, and it's all, he is the elite of the elite quarterbacks.
Taylor Swift was an inevitable topic of conversation at the watch parties.
I've got 2 young nieces who are huge Taylor Swift fans, and they are now Kansas City Chiefs fans. So I think it's great bringing in young girls to watch with their aunts like me or their moms or whoever. So getting more young girls involved in the sport.
Swift even giving this Brentwood Chiefs fan her scarf at the NFL wildcard playoff game. Beth Vansel now locked into the Super Bowl from Ballpark Village.
Honestly, Taylor and I were hanging out the whole game and high-fiving and all that stuff. And then at the end, she's like, you're a good luck charm. You need this scarf. It's freezing.
In a sea of Chiefs red, it was hard to find a San Francisco 49ers fan. We found 2.
It's a bit hostile. I'm by the bathroom, so people are coming by walking, saying all kind of crazy stuff. But I'm having a great time.
It's crazy, There's very few of us out here, so it's very crazy, We're definitely in enemy territory.
The Chiefs had the last laugh, reporting in St. Louis. Annie Kroll, 5 on Your Side.
And Chiefs fans plan on cheering the night away downtown on both sides of the bi-state, and then, of course, getting some much-needed rest after that long and eventful season before they try to do it again next year. Congratulations again to the Kansas City Chiefs. We're back with Gary Frank for another look at our Weather First forecast.
Yeah,
Gary,
you know,
I think you were rooting for the
we were
Chiefs.
excited. The game got done just in time for us to explain what's going on. So we're there. We had a lot of us in there, and thank you for the pizza once again. Mike celebrated a nice watch party as we prepare for what's going on into the overnight hours. Pretty quiet, I think, overall. And I think the last few hours, one thing, believe it or not, I was paying attention while the game was happening. And the trend have actually been to bring the storm a little further south. And I'll explain what that means right now, though. Temperatures staying above freezing. It's 37. We got a north breeze at 5 miles an hour. We got to 49 today and was above average again. No surprise, it's been above average every single day this month, but it's this system. You notice how this starts to turn a little bit south. There's that entire band of rain. There's a dry air in between that, but then some pretty slow moving snow in Oklahoma City and areas in Texas. It's where does this system move that brings us our opportunity for rain and snow. If it moves a little further north, then we'd be getting in on that. But I think at this point, we're starting to see at least the leading edge of this start to work its way closer to us. But I think in general, this entire storm is going to move to our south. So I think some of us may stay dry completely, not even just rain and snow. But there are a few areas involved in that winter weather advisory. Notice our temperatures, low to mid 40s to the south. We're at 29 in Jeff City, where things are a little bit clearer, believe it or not. There are some spots below freezing as well, and that's why temps in St. Louis have dropped down to 37, even 32 in Warrenton. So some colder air is around, but I think overall we're not going to change a lot before that chance starts to increase by daybreak. However, here's the difference, I think, in the forecast. Earlier it was, hey, this is all going to affect St. Louis and probably a rain-snow mix, and then to the south maybe we'll start to see a few heavy bands of snow. Watch where the track for this system is. This is well to the south, and even as that flashed by pretty quickly, I want to take you to the first pause point here by 6 o'clock in the morning. Look where this system is. Look how this passes mostly to our south. That's where the heavy snow is now tracking. So I think as a result, despite us being under a winter weather advisory in those areas to the south, like Farmington, Rolla, I'm not real certain that a lot of us get much more than a few light flakes of snow, and certainly not enough to overcome the fact that our temperatures are above freezing and our ground is above freezing. Notice this even south of Fredericktown and Centerville by 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Areas to the south, closer to the boot heel, I mean, we're talking about some pretty decent snow, but I think the snowfall potential has at least stayed a little further south of Lesterville. Still a possibility for a quick 1 to 2 inches, but I think overall we're going to see that light rain and snow begin after 3 o'clock. But we're mostly above freezing, and I think those chances for slushy roads are almost non-existent and to the south. We'll get above freezing tomorrow, and I think overall our trend for the next few days is above average once again. 50s, close to 60, and then we're back down in the mid-40s, and we run out of those chances for rain and snow and return to the above average winter we've been having.
I'm today in St. Louis traffic guy Paul Cook, and it's time to go on the move. After our story unofficially announcing the beginning of pothole season a few weeks ago, I received lots of comments about potholes causing damage to viewers' cars and locations of new ones to look out for, like this. Our viewer said, go look on Manchester Road around 141 and on 141 itself. There are so many potholes that are not being addressed or taken care of. I checked on that stretch of road at 141 in Manchester and Baldwin. It does look like some repairs have been attempted. Of course, we know potholes happen after freezing and thawing.
Add motor vehicle traffic to that, weak spots are inevitably going to form. And then those are exploited by more freezing and thawing and more traffic, and thus the pothole.
But you would think that with all the new technology, there would be some substance that would help.
Even new pavement is can fall victim to this. It's incredible, but like I said, it's just something we expect.
I guess we can always dream that a new magical fix gets invented soon. Until then, potholes are a reality. Stay alert. Paul Cook, 5 on your side.
Reaction after lawmakers voted against exceptions for abortion in Missouri. A statement from one senator facing backlash. Abortion continues to be at the center of politics in Missouri. Right now, multiple groups are collecting signatures to get an abortion question put on the ballot. Meantime, lawmakers in Jefferson City have voted against exceptions for rape or incest in the state's abortion law. One of those lawmakers is facing some backlash for comments he made. Republican Rick Bratton called abortion an atrocity, claiming birth could be, quote, the greatest healing agent to victims of rape or incest. He shared a statement with 5 on Your Side in reaction to the backlash. He says in part, quote, I made this comment as an attempt to amplify the voices of rape survivors. One of the ballot measures collecting signatures is being pursued by a St. Louis Republican, and if passed, abortions would also be allowed in cases of rape, incest, and deadly fetal abnormalities. At halftime, he took the stage at Allegiant Stadium, but before that, Usher was on Show Me St. Louis. A look back at the 5 on Your Side archives.
All the teenagers out there that want to do something constructive with your life, I advise you to just believe in yourself. Parents, stand next to your kids and believe in them. Because mine did, and look what happened.
Yeah, that's a throwback to the 90s for you. Before he was playing the Super Bowl halftime show, R&B artist Usher was an up-and-coming star that we interviewed on Show Me St. Louis. He stopped by the station in 1998 while he was in town to perform with Janet Jackson. Usher says he hoped to highlight as much of his 30 years of music as he could tonight in Vegas. He was joined by other artists like Alicia Keys, will.i.am, and Ludacris, just to name a few. All right, Gary, let's check on that weather. A lot of people have been talking about the snow, but it doesn't look like we're going to get it.
I know. Some people, I think, are wish casting an extra day off, like on purpose, and that's not going to happen. I think areas to the south are going to see the best bet for that, but I think the track of this generally takes us a little further south. And what that does for us, I think, locally, the areas that I'll highlight is, it's really south of this line. Fredericktown, Lesterville, it was already going to be a little further north, but it's moved, and I think south of there, better opportunity, but shouldn't cause you any issues in the morning.
And there you have it. 5 on Your Side at 10. Don't forget to start your day with Today in St. Louis, beginning at 4 a.m. And now here's Frank Cusimano with Sports Plus.